Hollywood, the land of glamour, fame, and carefully constructed illusions. But behind every perfect smile, every romantic leading man, every untouchable screen goddess, there was a contract. And sometimes that contract controlled everything. Who you loved, who you married, your entire life, written in ink, owned by a studio. Number 1. Jean Harlow. She was Hollywood's original blonde bombshell. The woman every man wanted, and every woman wanted to be. Jean Harlow didn't just light up the screen. She owned it. But behind that platinum hair and that dangerous smile, MGM owned her. The studio had written a clause directly into her contract, forbidding her from getting married. Their reasoning? A wife couldn't be a bombshell. When Harlow fell deeply in love with actor William Powell, the studio didn't care. According to Harper's Bazaar, Harlow was told that becoming a wife would alter her sex appeal. And because of the morality clause in her MGM contract, the studio had the power to deny her that marriage. They were reportedly engaged for 2 years. 2 years of waiting, hoping, and nothing. Hollywood was so certain there would be a wedding that Powell and Harlow were literally called the most talked about couple in Hollywood. That wedding never came. Harlow died in 1937 at just 26 years old. Powell was at her bedside when she passed. MGM got what they wanted. Jean Harlow remained, forever, Hollywood's greatest fantasy. Number 2. Mickey Rooney. He was the biggest box office star in Hollywood. 3 years in a row. Mickey Rooney wasn't just famous, he was untouchable, and MGM intended to keep it that way. Mickey Rooney was the lead in the wildly popular Andy Hardy film series, and Louis B. Mayer was deeply worried about how fans would react if their beloved star was taken off the market. So when Rooney walked into Mayer's office and announced he wanted to marry a young starlet named Ava Gardner, the room went cold. Mayer looked at him and said, "I simply forbid it. That's all. I forbid it." Just like that. No debate. No discussion. A man's entire love life dismissed in one sentence. MGM eventually allowed the wedding, but on their terms. The ceremony was held in the remote, barely known town of Ballard, California. No publicity, no fanfare, no white dress, just silence. And when the marriage eventually fell apart, Gardner agreed not to reveal the real reason for the divorce, so it wouldn't damage Rooney's career. Even the ending belonged to the studio. Number 3. Rock Hudson. He was Hollywood's ultimate leading man. Tall, dark, devastatingly handsome. Life magazine had even run a cover story calling him Hollywood's most handsome bachelor, framing his single lifestyle as simply a man who hadn't found the right girl yet. But that image was carefully constructed, and it was about to collapse. In 1955, the gossip magazine Confidential threatened to publish a full exposé, revealing Rock Hudson's secret homosexuality. In that era, being outed wasn't just a scandal, it was career suicide. His agent Henry Wilson moved fast. He arranged a marriage between Hudson and his own secretary, Phyllis Gates. A rapid courtship of just 2 months, engineered specifically to counter the magazine's threats. Hudson's co-stars knew. His friends knew. As actress Arlene Dahl later said, it was an arrangement. Years later, Hudson's own friend told People magazine, Rock said the studio set up the marriage and promoted the wedding and the honeymoon. He was very bitter about that. A man, forced to marry someone he didn't love, just to protect a studio's investment. That was the real Hollywood. Number 4. William Haines. By 1930, William Haines was the single biggest box office attraction in all of Hollywood. Not just a star. The star. The man every studio wanted. The face every audience loved. But Hollywood had rules, and William Haines refused to follow them. Louis B. Mayer called Haines into his office and delivered a cold, simple ultimatum. Enter into a sham marriage with a woman or lose everything. The studio's image had to be protected. Scandal could not be tolerated. Most people in that chair would have said yes. Most people would have signed whatever paper was put in front of them. Not Haines. He looked Mayer straight in the eye and said, "I am already married." He was referring to his partner of 7 years, Jimmy Shields. Mayer fired him on the spot and terminated his contract immediately. His film career. Over. Just like that. But Haines and Shields remained together for nearly 50 years, until Haines passed away in 1973. Joan Crawford, one of their closest friends, called them the happiest married couple in Hollywood. The studio took his career, but it could never take that. Number 5. Jane Greer. She had the face of an angel and the story of a nightmare. Howard Hughes first spotted Jane Greer in a 1942 issue of Life magazine. She was modeling army uniforms. One look, and he was obsessed. He signed her to a personal contract and immediately made one thing crystal clear. She was never to get married. Not to anyone. Ever. But Jane Greer wasn't the kind of woman who took orders. Hughes kept her shelved. No screen tests. No movies. Just strict instructions not to get involved with anyone. As Greer herself later said, he wanted to own people. He collected them. So she fought back. She defied Hughes directly by marrying crooner Rudy Vallée. Then she sued Hughes for breach of contract. Hughes didn't forgive. He didn't forget. In a move that left all of Hollywood stunned, Hughes purchased RKO Pictures, the very studio where Greer was finally building her career. He called her into his office and told her coldly, "While you're under contract to me, you'll never work." He kept her on salary, but gave her almost nothing to do. Her best years, stolen. By one man's jealousy. Jane Greer was one of Hollywood's greatest talents. And Howard Hughes made sure the world almost never knew it. Number 6. Sammy Davis Jr. Hollywood was glamorous on the outside and brutal on the inside. Sammy Davis Jr. was one of the most electrifying performers in the world. And Kim Novak. She was Columbia Pictures' biggest star. Newspapers were calling her the hottest female draw at the box office. They fell in love. Quietly. Secretly. And that was their mistake. When Columbia Pictures boss Harry Cohn found out about their relationship, he immediately forbade Novak from seeing Davis. No negotiation. No compromise. Just stop. But Cohn didn't stop there. Davis was threatened by mob intermediaries, connected directly to Cohn. The message was clear and terrifying. End the relationship, or lose his one remaining eye. He had 2 days to marry a black woman, or face the consequences. 2 days. To destroy his own love story, or risk his life. With no protection in Hollywood, Davis frantically searched for a solution. He found dancer Lorraine White and offered her $25,000 to enter a contract marriage. Just to call off the threat. 9 days later, they were wed. A month after Davis's forced wedding, Harry Cohn had a heart attack and died. But the damage was already done. 2 people who genuinely loved each other. Torn apart. Not by fate. Not by heartbreak. By one man's power and one industry's cruelty. Hollywood sold us dreams, but kept its stars in chains. 6 lives, 6 stories, all controlled by contracts, power, and fear. If this history shocked you, hit that like button, subscribe, because more untold stories are coming. And comment below. Which story?